Kevin was perplexed by his neighbor Ruth's unconventional choice to live in her car despite having a perfectly good home just steps away. Despite Ruth's friendly demeanor, Kevin had never seen her enter her own house. But when he finally ventured inside, he discovered the shocking truth. The house was uninhabitable. Hello, and welcome back to Storyscape. Today we will share an incredible story of firefighters allowing a woman's house to burn down once they discovered its harrowing secret. But before we delve into this extraordinary tale, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell for more captivating videos. Despite living across from Ruth for years, Kevin hardly knew her. He knew she had retired and lived alone. Little did he know that their lives would soon intersect, forging an exceptional friendship. Night after night, Kevin observed Ruth retiring to her car to sleep. He couldn't fathom why she chose this over her nearby home. As days passed, Kevin noticed Ruth never setting foot in her house, raising suspicions. Whenever he passed her car, he'd check on Ruth, ensuring she was awake. These brief conversations gradually unraveled Ruth's story. Kevin felt a pang of sadness for Ruth. There had to be a compelling reason for her to avoid her home. Ruth seemed embarrassed whenever he glanced into her car, but he remained puzzled about her predicament. Ruth owned a home and a car and was retired, seemingly living comfortably. The enigma deepened. The house's deteriorating condition provided visible evidence of neglect. Closed blinds, overgrown grass, dirty windows, and peeling paint all indicated abandonment. A broken window at the house's apex hinted at possible animal infestation. Yet, the revelation that followed would break Kevin's heart. One day, passing Ruth's car, Kevin heard her sobbing. Alarmed, he rushed to her side and found her frantically rummaging through plastic bags in the car's back seat. Concerned, he asked, "What's wrong, Ruth?" Ruth's tearful response unveiled the mystery of her home. Ruth followed a routine of visiting the gym, using the bathroom, cleaning up, grabbing fast food, and returning to her car, where she kept a vigil and slept. Unfortunately, her car had broken down, stranding her. As Ruth sorted through her car's contents, she realized she had left behind a crucial item in her house. Observing Ruth's distress, Kevin offered to retrieve her cherished item. He reassured Ruth that he would enter her house and recover it. Approaching the house, Kevin noticed its dilapidated state. Broken roof tiles on the front lawn startled him. A quick glance through a window revealed a daunting scene. Stacks of clothes, heaps of garbage, and scattered papers filled every visible space. The closer Kevin got to the house, the more overpowering the foul odor became. Inside, he had to sidestep piles of trash tumbling at his feet. Doubts about the wisdom of his decision to search this house crept into Kevin's mind. Ruth had explained her quest for an old photo of her parents when Kevin entered the house. Inside, he confronted a disheartening reality. The house was unlivable. Piles of trash littered the floors, impeding movement from one room to another, while the nauseating stench emanated from the towering heaps of refuse. Driven by compassion, Kevin remained determined to find Ruth's lost photo. However, the clutter was so extensive that Kevin needed gloves and a face mask to protect himself from the dust. Progress was slow, and Kevin wondered if he'd ever find the photo. Kevin sensed he was approaching his goal when he uncovered an old book. After a bit more digging, Kevin triumphantly located the object of his search. Though yellowed and faded, the photo remained remarkably well preserved amid the house's state of disrepair. With the cherished photograph in hand, Kevin was eager to exit, but his curiosity led him to an unexpected discovery: an old, weathered bookcase. It concealed a hole in the wall behind it, leading to a mysterious room. This hidden entryway was coated with grime and cobwebs, testament to years of abandonment. Unlike the rest of the house, the room remained in surprisingly good condition. Although dimly lit, it contained colored photos lining the walls, old toys, and clothes. Kevin wondered about the room's history and why Ruth had maintained it. Adjacent to the mystery room, Kevin was greeted by a disturbing sight: a ceiling laden with thick, black mold. This dangerous substance posed significant health risks and could prove lethal in substantial quantities. The hallway was so humid that the paint had started to peel and flake from the walls. Returning in a protective suit and mask, Kevin recognized the immense scope of the task. He understood that he couldn't tackle it alone. Reluctantly, he told Ruth that her home had become perilous. Ruth admitted hearing about the mold issue. "I had no idea it had gotten so bad." The decision was made to enlist a specialist to eradicate the mold. Still, Kevin was also eager to explore the untouched room and uncover its secrets. Following the specialist's evaluation, the only viable option was to demolish the house, as attempting to clean it would pose significant risks. The fire department was summoned to carry out this unusual task, not extinguishing fires, but initiating one. Before the house could be razed, its contents had to be removed and disposed of due to the mold infestation. Sadly, very few items could be salvaged due to the health hazards posed by the extensive mold growth. Assisted by the fire department and volunteers, Ruth's belongings were transferred from the house to the yard for packing and disposal. Ruth's reaction to the overwhelming task took everyone by surprise. After her possessions were removed from the house, a final inspection by the fire department was conducted, preparing for the house's demolition. The entire community came together to assist in clearing the area before the demolition commenced. A few more items were retrieved from the house for Ruth, who was thankful but still emotionally shaken. Hoarders typically have intense emotional attachments to their belongings, and Ruth was no exception. However, she was now prepared to move forward and leave this destructive habit behind. The cleanup crew anticipated consoling Ruth during this challenging time but were unprepared for her reaction. Overwhelmed by the moment, Ruth broke down in tears when it was time to bid farewell to her home. Nevertheless, she expressed her gratitude to every member of the fire department and cleanup crew for their assistance in moving her things and helping her transition to a new chapter in her life. Before the house's demolition, the fire department conducted a final check. Still assisting Ruth, Kevin Burns wondered if any objects from the hidden room would be saved. The fire department removed a few more large pieces of furniture for disposal, yet Kevin noticed that none of the items from the concealed chamber appeared on the front lawn. However, it seemed too late to salvage anything from the house. The decision to burn down the house was made in Ruth's best interest, as she had already packed her car with everything essential for her survival. Removing the house would alleviate her burden. As the flames engulfed the house, Ruth and Kevin watched, the smoke spiraling and engulfing the structure. Ruth confided in Kevin at that moment, seemingly aware of his thoughts. "That room was where my husband passed away. I didn't have the heart to go in there after he was gone." The fire department remained on site late into the night, ensuring the smoldering embers posed no further threat. Such hazardous work required vigilance, ensuring the fire did not spread to neighboring homes or endanger Ruth's neighbors. Now that her house was gone, Ruth faced the question of where to go next. Having witnessed the complete destruction of her lifelong residence, she pondered her future. The car, which had served as her temporary shelter, would soon no longer suffice. Thankfully, Ruth had made friends who were more than willing to lend a helping hand. With her essential belongings safely stowed in her car, Kevin assisted her in her quest for a new place to call home. A nearby senior living community emerged as the most suitable option for Ruth, offering a welcoming and supportive environment with peers to interact with. The community embraced Ruth, understanding her need for solace as she continued to cope with her husband's passing. Although still dealing with grief, Ruth found comfort in being surrounded by like-minded individuals and having her needs met without fear. Ruth's life saw a remarkable transformation after bidding farewell to her car-dwelling days. She embraced a healthier lifestyle, incorporating regular exercise and leaving behind fast food habits. She remained in close contact with Kevin Burns, expressing her gratitude for his unwavering support. Gradually, Ruth overcame her hoarding tendencies and found emotional healing following her husband's passing. Her later years witnessed an improved quality of life, a testament to the invaluable support of loyal friends and their unwavering honesty.